What's up, guys? This is YeahBuoy and Aegis. This is a review on the Tier 8 premium battleship, the Tirpitz. It's a German battleship. I decided to get it because I saw a review on the Tier 6 German premium battleship, the Warships. That review is by Zip, and it looked like a lot of fun, so I decided I might want to get a Tier 10 German battleship in the future. But before I invest all my time into German battleships, I wanted to try one out, so I went ahead, got the Tirpitz to get as close to Tier 10 as I can before I make that decision, because it's a big investment. So let's start off with some basic ship stats. I'm going to go down here and show you the stats of this ship. It's got 53,506 hit points. It goes about 28 knots, a little more than 28 knots. It's got a 31.91 second, basically 32 second acceleration to full speed. That's a very long time. Its main guns go a little more than 14 kilometers with a 20-second reload time. It's got 2 sets of 4 torpedoes. Those torpedoes have a 48-second reload time. They do 3,186 damage each, but the range is only 5.62 kilometers. So it's not very good. Not very good as far as range goes, I mean. It's got a huge surface detection, like a very far surface detection of 11.52 kilometers. And it's got, an anti-aircraft. It's not the best, like the North Carolina, which has incredible anti-air. Look at this here. 378 large caliber, 288 small caliber. Let's go back to the Tirpitz. And we've got 245 large caliber and 109 small caliber. But it's not a big deal because in a Tirpitz, you shouldn't be getting targeted by aircraft carriers that much. With how much hit points the Tirpitz has, 53,506 hit points, it takes a long time to take out a Tirpitz. So aircraft carriers are much more effective at taking out other ships before the Tirpitz, so you should not be a priority for them in this. Now, for equipment, I went with main battery shell dispersion reduction over main battery reload time because I'd rather my shots be more accurate than more frequent. I did not go with main battery traverse speed because I'd rather turn my ship than turn my main guns to the other side of my ship. And you don't need torpedo traverse speed because torpedoes are extra. They're not like your main source of damage. And secondary battery reload time is not a priority because you don't do a ton of damage with secondary batteries compared to your main guns. For the second equipment option, I went with steering gear modification because this ship, all battleships, I think, generally should have steering gear. Maybe not every single one, but most battleships should have a steering gear modification just because it's so hard to maneuver compared to like a destroyer or a cruiser. I did not go with propulsion here because generally in battleships you're not doing a lot of stop and go like you are in, say, a cruiser or a destroyer. In a battleship you're generally going to be either stopped and firing or moving and firing, not a lot of back and forth. So you don't get a whole lot of use out of acceleration except for just the few times that you use it. Compared to steering gear, it's just a constant benefit because you're generally constantly turning, or at least I'm turning a lot to get my main battery, my main guns to fire at the enemy. So because I don't have the traverse speed, so I'm turning my ship rather than traversing my guns. Now, for the third option, I went with torpedo damage reduction because with the Tirpitz having short-range torpedoes, you generally would like to eventually be close to the enemy, and if you're going to get close to the enemy a lot, you can expect to get hit by those torpedoes. I didn't go with second steering gear because the Tirpitz is like much bigger than, say, a Tier 5 Congo. It doesn't maneuver as well as a Tier 5 Congo, and in a Tier 5 Congo, you're not going to get as close to the enemy as you will in a Tirpitz. Because Tirpitz, you're always going to be getting close to the enemy if you want to set off your torpedoes, so you can expect to get hit by torpedoes a lot in the Tirpitz, so that's why I went with torpedo damage reduction right here. You don't really need to go with air defense because carriers should not be a problem for you if the carrier knows, or if they're optimizing their effectiveness in the game by not targeting you, because so many other ships are so much easier to take out a lot quicker. And the goal in any match should be to take out ships as quick as you can. Surface detection, you're always going to be detected. You don't need to get anywhere faster in the Tirpitz, so you don't go with max speed. Let's go over with supplies real quick. I went with these 3 options. You don't need surface detection, and I don't think you should need anti-aircraft. So now let's go with commander skills. I went with 3% reduction of damage by enemy torpedo because you can expect to get hit by torpedoes in a Tirpitz if you're getting close to the enemies that is to set off your torpedoes. I went with 15% increased detection range of enemy torpedoes since you can be expecting those torpedoes. I've seen other players go with armament repair expert, but generally, that's situational. Generally, your repair should take care of that, and I don't find that main battery and secondary battery or torpedo tubes go out very often after I've repaired them with the repair kit. So that's very situational. For the tier 3 option, I went with artillery maintenance expert because the Tirpitz having so much health, so much hit points, you're generally going to be above 75% of your maximum HP more than other ships. You should be spending a lot of time above 75% of your maximum HP, so you're going to get a lot of benefit out of the 15% main battery traverse speed and 3% reduction of main battery shell dispersion. If you get targeted a lot and you lose health a lot, I guess you can go with high alert to have 10% reduction of damage control kit cooldown time. For tier, and by the way, don't go with preheating. I don't recommend that at all because you don't need to get to the battle quicker. You're just gonna get there and then you'll be doing your damage, and then that's that. For the tier 4, I went with unstoppable for the Kraken because I just really want to see how much fun it is to have that get enabled. I haven't seen it get enabled yet, or at least I haven't paid attention if it did get enabled. So if you don't think you're going to get a Kraken very often, or you just don't care about seeing it get enabled, if you want a constant benefit every battle, then get Victorious Charge here, because 1.5% of your maximum HP is a little over 800 hit points, and you'll get that every battle, every time you sink a ship. For the tier 5 option, I went with Survivalist for 15% increased hit points recovered when using repair kits, because that's just a lot of hit points. Already, your repair kits are restoring 14.3% of your maximum HP, and 14.3% of your maximum HP of 53,500. I don't know what 14% is, but I know that 15% is around 8,000 hit points, a little more than 8,000. So 14% from the repair kit is somewhere around 8,000, and 15% is a little more than 8,000. So having that as your commander tier 5, that's a lot of hit points repaired by your repair kits. And I'm not going to go over any of these other like tier 6 through 12 options because I haven't got there yet. I haven't even evaluated them or decided what I don't know on the go what I would choose. I could sit here and work it out with you on video, but that would take a while. Let's go to the stats real quick, then I'll get into a match. In the Tirpitz, I'm averaging about 55,000 damage, and compared to the other tier 8 battleships that are out right now, the North Carolina is doing about 52,500 damage for me. The Amagi doing about 50,000 average damage, so I'm performing the best in my Tirpitz, doing about 5,000 more damage, more than my Amagi. And also, if you look at the enemies destroyed ratio, 1.03 in the Amagi, 1.16 in the North Carolina, 1.46 in my Tirpitz. So I'm performing a lot better in the Tirpitz. Now, if you look at my destruction ratio, I'm doing a lot better in my North Carolina than my Tirpitz. I get sunk more in the Tirpitz than the North Carolina. And then the Amagi, I get sunk the most. Honestly, the Amagi, I think the Amagi performs a lot better than this, honestly. I had a lot of matches that were just very unfortunate in my Amagi. And speaking of unfortunate matches, my Tirpitz, I also recently had a bunch of unfortunate matches at the end of my 35 match run. And so my average damage was around 58,000, just so you know. Before I had some bad matches that got me down to 55. I'm expecting it to go back up to 58 because I was consistently doing around 58,000 average. I just had a few bad matches that really dropped that average down to 55. So just for the record, I think that you guys should be having a bigger difference in damage than I am right here. Like there's about a 2,500 damage difference between my North Carolina and Tirpitz. I think y'all will have a bigger difference here because I think my stats don't accurately reflect the true difference in performance here. So now let's get into a match. This is a tier 7, tier 8 match, and I'm teamed up with Nimitz and FND and Obi-Wan and Aegis. There is one bot in this match, but you are not going to see me target that bot the entire match. This is completely human to human performance in this match. If you want to skip up to when the action starts, skip to 12 minutes 45 seconds into this video. Skip up to 12:45 right now if you want to skip the sail up to the battle.
Let's do this. No problem. Hello. Target spotted.
Alright, here's the first ship, the enemy Wichita. It is your job as a battleship to target the cruisers when you can. So this is going to be my first target. And I'm going to target a bunch of different enemy to try and get a feel for how this ship performs, how I'm able to perform in this ship. I love targeting destroyers and battleships. You do want to have HE enabled if you're going to target destroyers. I do not enable HE right here because I am going to need to target this battleship on my left. Me and Obi-Wan are the only ones protecting the left side of the map right here, right now. Others come later, but yeah, I'm going to target this Colorado right here. Colorado is a tier 7 American battleship, and I'm in the tier 8 German premium battleship. So I do have an edge on this guy just because I'm one tier higher than him. So notice in the Tirpitz, I'm needing to get close to fire these torpedoes off. Torpedoes do a good amount of damage, but you do have to get close to enemy battleships or any other ship if you want to use them and land them. So just notice how this Colorado got taken out so easily. Look how much hit points I have left. And I'm repairing to get back up to maximum hit points. That is awesome. I'm really loving that. My Tirpitz is turning a little easier than I was expecting. I actually like the maneuverability of this ship more than I was expecting. Now, one thing that I have noticed is that sometimes my shells are a little wonky in the Tirpitz, and I'm not referring to what you're seeing right now, but the shells don't always hit exactly where you want them to. Like there's some random shells that just don't even hit the target when all the rest do, which I guess that's normal in most ships, but I feel like right now they're all hitting very very precisely like where I want them to. I hit 7 out of 8 shells, but that doesn't always happen. Like, I don't know if it's a bug with the ship or not, or if it's just user error. It's probably just user error, me getting used to the ship. Anyways, just figured I'd mention that the shell dispersion isn't perfect like it would be like it is in like the Königsberg or the Nuremberg. Now right here, fired my torpedoes off on the left, and now I want to finish off that North Carolina. Fired my secondaries, and now here come my main guns. Notice the range on those secondary batteries and that they are AP. On your secondary batteries, you do not have HE, you have only AP secondary battery rounds in the Tirpitz. So I'm going to turn as quick as I can. This is why traverse the steering gear modification is good here. You want to turn around, get those torpedoes off ASAP on this next ship. And guys, look at this. 125.9 thousand damage. That's about 126,000 damage. That felt like a quick match. I was just racking up the damage real quick. And guys, if you can see, this ship can be a lot of fun to play if you're in the right place at the right time. Guys, overall, I really enjoy this ship. I don't know what it is, but there's something that took me a while to decide whether I liked it or not. I don't know if it's just getting used to. Like, there's something that I don't like. I haven't pinpointed what it is, but I do enjoy it more than the Amagi. I think it's a little easier to land your rounds in the Amagi, but they don't do as much damage. My overall damage is lower than the Amagi. Anyways, guys, I hope this review helped. I hope you liked it. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and catch y'all next time.